you hear the word stage 4 and you immediately go to the word terminal. And at 44, that's a really scary thought because you just immediately think like, how long do I have? I am halfway through this existence that I thought I had. How are you telling me I've got a limited number of, I don't know, months, weeks? What are you even going to tell me? I'm Stephanie from Massachusetts, and I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-small cell lung cancer in December of 2024. The before life was a life full of hope and fun. So I have 2 teenage daughters, and I'm married to my high school sweetheart, and we go skiing, we travel. As a mom, we put ourselves last. So when I was sick, I just thought it was a quick cold. I had just gotten over COVID, actually, and then I had a couple of great weeks, and then I started coughing again. I had just a terrible hacking cough. It wouldn't be resolved with any sort of medication over the counter. I did brush it off for a while and figured I'll just deal with this later because I'm working full time. It wasn't until maybe 8 weeks later from my first visit to an urgent care that I was coughing so hard that I actually broke a rib. I felt it snap as I coughed. And when that happened, the pain was actually what finally sent me to the hospital instead of an urgent care. The ER doc came in fairly quickly and decided he was going to admit me, which I thought was strange because I still just thought I had a cold. I had pneumonia. But on my second day in the hospital is when they told me I'd be getting a biopsy the next day. And I was like, why would I need a biopsy for pneumonia? This is silly. And then it became real very suddenly for me. When I was first diagnosed in the hospital, I had tumors on each of my ovaries, lesions in my spine, on my liver, and in my lung. All I knew, though, was my ovaries because I had a little sensitivity on my side. When they came back and said, it's cancer, like they just said it's cancer, I obviously was upset, but then my nurse was like, yeah, but if it's ovarian cancer, that's a quick and easy thing that we'll just take it out and we just remove it, we're going to be fine. And it was the following day that I was told it was actually lung cancer. I didn't have your typical risk factors. I live in a pretty woodsy area. I'm not in a city, so it wasn't thinking about air pollution. I don't use a wood burning or coal burning stove in my house, so not thinking about it like that. I don't smoke, and I was, again, 44 years old, fairly healthy. I knew nothing of lung cancer prior to having it myself. I myself also believed in the stigma of it's a smoker's or old person's cancer. I didn't even know I was sick. Like, I knew I was sick with a cold. I knew I was sick with pneumonia. You're going to tell me I have cancer and it's stage 4 already? How in the world did I not know? Because in my mind, you must have cancer for a really long time to be at stage 4. And just to think about the fact that I started coughing in the fall and was diagnosed in early December. That was only a matter of months. It was a horrible shock at 44. The best thing that my doctors did was they never gave me a date. They never said you have an expiration date. We've changed our language here at my house, so we do not use the term terminal at all when we say incurable cancer. It's incurable, but we can manage this. The doctor had mentioned, there could be these genetic tests that we need to do. I had never heard of a genomic test for any sort of cancer other than breast cancer and the BRCA gene. The doctors felt as though it would be best to have one round of chemo while I was waiting for the genetic test to come back. We scheduled my first round of chemotherapy for December 23rd last year. So as I was sitting in that chair with my husband across from me, the phone rang. The doctor called and he said, I wanted to be the one to tell you your genetic test came back. Have you started your chemo yet? As I was literally in the chair and she had the medicine like right here, ready to go. Are we doing this or not? He said, it's an ALK mutation, which in this general area of conversation, it's the best possible news I could give you because there's so much treatment out there and so much research and you're going to be okay in the sense of like, you're not going to need to stay with chemo. We're going to be on targeted therapy. Go ahead and get that first round of chemo though, because we want to knock it down as much as we can knock down, as fast as we can knock it down. The way they explained it to me gave me a lot of hope, and it gave my husband a lot of hope to start to really dig in. Like the IV was in my arm, I'm getting the chemo, we're both on our phones immediately Googling what in the world is ALK positive cancer. It was a Friday that I was discharged. They both had some activities that they had to go to on Saturday that were, believe it or not, I think they were actually going to a fundraising for childhood cancer activity at their school that they were helping to run. So I certainly was not telling them prior to that. We just kind of told them Mom's better. She's, going to be okay. We're out of the hospital. We have a plan. We'll talk about this more later. We told them just enough, I think, to make them feel included in the conversation, but not to overwhelm them. We did not tell them staging. We told them only that it was lung cancer. It was very intentional. We let them get through the school year. We also let them get through a few rounds of me getting scans. And each time I got scans, it was better and better and better. What we ended up deciding to do is we waited until the school year ended in June. I had been 6 months into treatment at that point. We sat them each down individually at that point to talk about what it really was, which is the hard part. So this was telling them it had actually been in all these different areas. We told my older daughter first, and she was like, I kind of knew because I knew it was ALK positive lung cancer. And I started to do my own research, which I knew she would. And she started to do a project in her anatomy class. And then when we told my younger daughter, she's a very different person. And she was like, okay, I hear you. And I am just going to believe that it's going to be okay because I've seen you over the last 6 months. And you went from like having a gray face and being on oxygen and looking sick all the time to being who you are today, which is you seem like yourself again. I was fiercely independent prior to this diagnosis. And the way it sidelined me, just immediately, I was literally tethered to an oxygen tank for probably 4 weeks after my discharge. And I wasn't able to drive at the beginning because everybody around me was nervous that something was going to happen. Every time I wanted to go anywhere, it was like a huge project because somebody would have to drive me. I had a lot of help. I had a lot of wonderful friends and my family who helped me with everything. I felt guilty that my daughter was on a new team. She really didn't know anybody yet. And her mom was dragging around an oxygen tank to the games. And her mom was the one who couldn't be social with people because I didn't have it in me. I was exhausted, or I had mask on, which made me look very like, don't approach. I had that guilt until she showed me, and this makes me emotional too, but she showed me that they all tied white ribbons to their sneakers, the whole team. And the white ribbon is for lung cancer. So they had all tied white ribbons to their shoes, not even knowing me, and barely knowing her. And that was, I like just let go of that guilt at that point because I realized that she wasn't embarrassed by it. And she had told them, and they see me showing up still. So I'm okay. Like, I'm going to be okay. She's going to be okay. And we're going to get through this. I'd never put myself first. I took 9 months off of work while I was battling my first year. During that time, once I started to feel better, I was prioritizing me. It was the Stephanie show. So I was going to yoga twice a week. I was going to crab lattes with my friends. Whatever made me feel good and whatever was like filling my bucket, that's what I wanted to go and do. A lot of what I wanted to do was spend time with my girls. I was incredibly independent. Like, that's one thing. I was the type of person who, if you went to the grocery store, I'm bringing every grocery bag in one haul because I don't want to go back out and do that. Or, I decide I'm going to move the furniture. I'm just going to do it myself. I don't want anybody's help. But in the beginning, there were so many appointments. And my husband also works full time. He was trying to juggle his job, but my parents were really kind. They drove me to appointments just to keep me company and to make sure that I wasn't struggling if I needed help with something. And it was nice just to have company. When I met with my oncology team the first time, it was it's overwhelming to go in there and be presented with options. I thought was really unique. I didn't realize that that was even going to be the way this conversation would go. I thought it would just be, let's pick your chemotherapy regimen and we'll move along. When they presented me with the different trial versus standard of care options, I think I'm kind of I want to pay it forward. I'm a person who wants to be a part of what makes things better for more people coming up with this. Receiving this diagnosis is not fun, but if I can be a part of a medication that makes it better for people because it has really great effects on the cancer, but it has less side effects than some of its predecessors, I want to be part of that movement. The drug that's on market now does A, B, and C, but you're going to have X, Y, and Z as side effects, and that's not going to be fun. The clinical trial drug is the same drug that does A, B, and C, but it maybe has X, and that's about it. And you're not quite sure it may have none of those side effects. It felt to me obvious almost at the 1 year mark. What I recognized is what's important to me now is my family and myself, but advocating as well. I need people to understand that people do not get cancer maliciously. When people look at you and say, oh, it must be because you did A, B, or C. Whatever people think a risk factor that you've caused might be, nobody's asking for cancer. And it's something that we need to just do a really good job of researching and continuing to advocate for those who A, are fighting it, but B, who are living with the people who are fighting it too. I work in corporate philanthropy and I have for about 20 years now. And I have found over time that I haven't really found my connection deeply with one particular nonprofit that I get behind, but now I am very clearly driven by my own diagnosis. So for me, it's been a really eye-opening experience to turn this into something for me that's positive. I have a real driven purpose and mission in life about ALK-positive cancer now. What I'm really excited about is just a future where I have more time because of the research being done and the drugs and treatments that are being manufactured now. They will give me more time with my family, and they will give me more time to advocate on behalf of those who will find out eventually that they also had ALK-positive lung cancer.
If you connected with their story, we've queued up another one we think you'll enjoy. It's right here on your screen. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the patient story so you can be part of our community. You are not alone. Thanks for watching.